All right, here we go now. Hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving, ready to roll here on a Saturday morning. Thanks to our friends at Insperity. Visit insperity.com for powerful HR solution with exceptional follow through. Charlie, how was your Thanksgiving there? Do we have Charlie with us here? All right, we'll get Charlie with us. He's there in studio in just 1 second. Once again, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. The last 2 days of the NFL football have just been outstanding. You look at the NFL Thanksgiving games, the CBS noon game came down to the wire with the Lions beating the Bears 23-20. You had Matt Eberflus get canned right after the noon CBS game. He's not going to make it to next week. You had the Dallas Cowboys beat the New York Giants 27-20 for the 3:30 Fox game, and then you had the Packers beat the Dolphins 20-17. I was already asleep by the 7:20 NBC game there on Thanksgiving night, as I was so full from Thanksgiving dinner. Uh, we have the golf doctor himself, Charlie Epps, with us. Charlie, how are you this morning?
I couldn't be better. I mean, starting the holiday season with Thanksgiving, there's no better. Get the family around the table, hear a lot of good conversations, a lot of good food, but more importantly, everybody's getting together in a good mood. And we're going to have a great holiday season and get to the first of the year, and we get to start 2025 and a lot to look forward to.
Charlie, what does what as far as I know, you just came back from California last week. You've had a busy last week here leading into Thanksgiving.
Well, when a friend is in need, you go and they call and you go and we gather around and get all the friends talking positive and my man has Parkinson's disease, and it's a horrible disease, but he's been fighting it for 20 years, and so we had a little powwow and he went to his brain specialist, and we really had a good time under the duress of having a companion or a friend, um, stricken with a disease that is not much fun.
Yeah, where did you guys' friendship start?
Well, our friendship started back in 1953, 54 in Argentina. Carlos was a young boy. He's 1 year older than I am, and we played a lot of golf together. His mother ran the junior programs were at the course where I was a member, or my dad was a member, and we developed a relationship that has stood through the years.
That's wonderful, Charlie. What when you were and now he's originally from Argentina, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an Argentine. He was born in Argentina, and lovely family, and we became close friends with his mom and dad and his brothers. He had three brothers and two sisters, and it was just a great relationship that we had with the families.
When you were in Argentina for those years growing up, Dad working for Jeep, I think Kaiser at the time. Did you guys celebrate Thanksgiving?
Oh, my parents, we did, yes. The Argentines did not have that holiday on their schedule, but our family celebrated Turkey Day, you might
Yeah,
say.
yeah. Now, now we did it here in Charlie. You were in Houston for Thanksgiving Day. Is that correct? What did your spread look like as far as the turkey or ham, or what does Charlie Epps' Thanksgiving play look like?
Well, luckily, my daughter's husband loves to cook. He loves the barbecue, and so he took care of the turkey, and he did one thing that I'd never heard of. And the night before, he soaked the turkey in water all night long.
Wow.
And as you know, when you eat a turkey, the white meat is really good, but you got to put gravy on it because it's a little too dry. Well, this white meat was perfect, and then we had all the trimmings and especially the desserts. Um, so there was enough for everybody, and we're very thankful for the table. It's it's a blessing to get together and for a reason and remember what the pioneers did way back when. So it was a great day.
Yeah, no, it sure was. I was up here in Flower Mound, Texas. My aunt and uncle made a wonderful spread up here near Dallas. So we had everything. It was really a great treat. Turkey, ham, stuffing. They had the scalloped potatoes and the cranberry sauce and green beans and
And now we're
uh,
talking.
all those good things. Even we had the dinner rolls, but I had a cousin who even made her own sourdough bread. That was just another great treat. So we had a great meal here on this end, Charlie. Had some good football going on. I thought the NFL Thanksgiving games were mostly pretty solid games. Bears Lions came down to the wire. With the Lions getting a late win, and then
Oh,
Matt
it wasn't
Eberflus.
even close.
Well,
The Lions had it all the way. They just they were not focused. But
and mailed it in to some extent. The Bears almost had him, but anyways, the Lions ended up winning that. You had the Cowboys get a win. There at the 3:30 game on Fox.
that
Cowboys won
was really an important
27-20.
game.
Yeah, no. The Cowboys need to start losing. They need to start losing so they can go ahead and get Deion Sanders and Shador Sanders, mail this season in, get the number one draft pick. I think it's going to be a rough next couple of years for the Cowboys because they're going to have to lose out one of these seasons if they want to get Shador or Arch Manning here in a few years after he shows out of Texas.
Well,
I
they
think
they got to get rid of the Jerry Jones.
I think it's going to be a while, Charlie. I think he's got a. I think there's a long list of Jones that are going to run that franchise after him. Unless Charlie, maybe the Saudi PIF, maybe the people making a big investment in golf, maybe they can go in and buy, the best franchise in sports in the Dallas Cowboys. We'll see. Actually, this year the NFL just made a rule allowing foreign entities to acquire stake in an NFL team. So that's something that could absolutely happen. I didn't stay awake for the last Thanksgiving game. As far as the Packers won that game 20-17. But Charlie, my belly was too full. I couldn't make it. I couldn't make
Well,
it through
well,
that
you
last
need
game.
to put a few pounds on those
Yeah,
ribs of yours. You know.
and then you had the Black Friday game. Chiefs beat the Raiders last minute. A lot of people think that game. There's some magic going on at the end of that game. Chiefs. I think it was. Producer AJ was telling me a good stat before the show started. To me, from what I can remember, is about the fourth game in a row they've played extremely closely. I think it's gone on maybe even farther than that.
Oh yeah,
Uh, you know, they, they're 10-1 or 11-1 now, AJ.
11-1.
11-1. The Chiefs are 11-1 now.
AJ, are you from
Just
Kansas City?
Oh no, sir. Just really in the NBA, NFL.
Oh, okay,
Stuff. Yes, sir.
very
yeah,
good.
no, outstanding job, outstanding job. Uh, Charlie, PGA Player of the Year. That's going to come out here in a few weeks. The players have until December 4th to submit those ballots. Are the players the only ones who vote?
Yes, in this one, yes, the players.
Yeah,
It's a players' vote, and it's not even close. Come on,
yeah. No, it's not.
you win
It's not.
$63 million. He probably won more than the rest of the tour.
Yeah,
Our man,
no.
Scotty Scheffler, and what a year he had, and what a gentleman, and his wife is such a lady. At a young age, they're doing all the right things. They're visiting the hospitals. They're nurturing their relationships with the public, and they're doing all the right things.
Wow. I think Scotty Scheffler's going to win it by a mile. 8 wins this season, including his second green jacket in a Players Championship. Also won the gold medal at the Paris Olympics.
Yep.
Closed out the season in a great way. Was the FedEx Cup champion. I think Scotty Scheffler is going to win that by a mile. It is interesting to look at. Xander Schauffele. When you look at when this award started being given out, the PGA Player of the Year. You know, the 10 times a PGA Tour member has won two majors in a year. he went on to win the Jack Nicklaus Award. So Xander Schauffele's had an excellent season and a season that would earn him that award most of the time. But you just had you had an outstanding situation there with Scotty Scheffler
He's going to
and
finish
what he
second.
did this year. Yeah,
He's going to
yeah,
finish second, and it's in the name of the great Jack Nicklaus.
yeah,
It's the
yeah,
Jack Nicklaus Award, so
yeah.
it's it's a nice deal. But that's flowers for the living. We just got to get on to the next season, and we really don't know what's going to happen next year. If the tour's going to go broke, or if I don't know. Have you heard anything else more than what you know right now?
Well, I think the no, it's all over the place, Charlie. Every couple weeks, all of these tours, the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, they're all saying they're on the edge of coming together and creating some sort of deal with the PIF and the people that run that run Live Golf. So this week there was a report that Live was really trying to get something done with the DP World Tour so that they could have a place in their schedule. So that they could have a place on the European schedule, but the PGA Tour still subsidizes the DP World Tour purses. So it's no, it's a mess, Charlie. The schedule as we know it is going to be the same, but what we didn't get your take on last week was the fact that in 2026, there's only going to be 20 PGA Tour cards available through the Corn Ferry Tour instead of 30, like we've seen the last 5 years. So they're really cutting jobs from the PGA Tour. It's the only sport. We were joking last week, Charlie. You don't see the NFL cutting jobs. You don't see the MLB cutting jobs. NHL is not cutting jobs. Yet, supposedly the Saudis want to put $6 billion into golf. You have the Strategic Sports Group that just put $1.5 billion into golf, but the tour is cutting jobs. You know, the
I
amount of
disagree.
jobs from the Corn Ferry
I
Tour to the PGA Tour.
I disagree with that. I mean, the tour is a unique business, and
Yeah.
the 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 players that are getting cut every week because of the tour. I mean, the way it's stretched out. I mean, built that only 56 or 60 make the cut, and so they got to clean it up. It's about time that they're doing this, and there'll be other tournaments for these guys to play, and they're going to have to get back and get with it and go to the European tour, go to the Asian tour. But it's a unique time in golf, and the only people that haven't got a hold of it are politicians, and we don't know how they're going to stand with all this money flying around. Who's going to get the percentage of that? I don't know if Trump's going to put a tax on the money that these guys are making.
Well, supposedly with 47's Department of Justice, the PGA Tour live situation is supposed to be expedited. Once again, we've heard that saying the last 3 years, and there's really been no progress made. I don't think there's any middle ground to the prime spring season. The PGA Tour is not going to give up its dates for the Masters. It's not going to give up its dates for the Memorial Tournament or Bay Hill or any of those prime spring places on the schedule. And Live is always going to have to take a back seat to that. We got to take a quick break. On the other side, Charlie, I want to get your take on another thing the PGA Tour is going to do. They're going to cut field sizes, and they have from about 157 and 144 down to the 120s range. And they said that they can't get rounds done in time. But there's a lot of players that we've talked to at Q School and on the PGA Tour that say it's actually a pace of play issue rather than an issue about the number of players in the field. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour presented by Insperity. Back after this.
You're listening to the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
From the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the Golf Doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
All right, a lot to get to as far as the world of golf is concerned. We will get to the Australian Open leaderboard here in just a little bit. Lucas Herbert, a PGA Tour winner who has now taken his talents to the Live Golf Tour. He is leading the Australian Open going into the final round alongside Riggs Johnson, who's a 24-year-old fresh out of Arizona State, looking to bring home his first career professional win. You have Joaquin Niemann, who's 2 shots back there at the Aussie Open at 12 under. He's in a tie for third alongside Ding Win Yi out of China, who just won the Asian Pacific Amateur Championship. He'll be playing at the Masters in April. A ton to do as far as the world of golf is concerned. We've got the golf doctor, Charlie Epps, here to break it down for us. Charlie, before we get going on the golf, I think you have a message for business owners looking to improve their HR performance.
Well, Insperity, a company that was founded in 1986 and has been so successful, first of all, wants to wish everybody a happy holiday season, no matter, what religion you are, who you are, let's have a good time. And the chairman of Insperity is unique in that he has a special knack in treating people and his customers, and he's been able to grow a business that's really incredible. So if you're a small business owner and you really want to grow your business in 2025, and we're all set with the past elections, what's going to happen with Donald Trump, but more importantly, what you're going to do with your businesses. And small business drives our economy. So hang in there, and if you want some good advice, log on to Insperity.com, go to their website, and you'll be amazed. In very few words, they'll really get you excited that they can help your business. So Insperity, a company that really is an HR company with, there's no second place here. They're in first place all year long. Insperity.
And we continue as far as the world of golf is concerned. Once again, that's Insperity.com for business owners looking to improve their HR performance. Charlie, we left the last segment discussing some of the changes that the PGA Tour is going to make to their competitive infrastructure. Some changes starting in 2025. The bulk of them will start in 2026. We talked about the how the PGA Tour is going to decrease the amount of cards that come from the Korn Ferry Tour. There's going to be, starting in 2026, there will be 20 PGA Tour cards available from the Korn Ferry Tour instead of 30. The number of cards coming from the DP World Tour will remain the same at 10. But another, 2 other topics of conversations, other changes, is that many of the Monday qualifiers are going to go away, and they're going to cut field sizes, from that 144 down to that 127 range. And I hear that some spots will be cut from the signature events as well, and the signature events will proceed with no cut line as well. Charlie, is it a issue of the number of players in the field, or is it a pace of play issue like a lot of these players are pointing out?
Well, the players are never going to admit that they play too slowly. I mean, they start playing fast when the sun goes down, and that's the thing that's just been traditional, that the player, and there's only a handful of players that are really, really slow, but the average, time is too long, and you can't get the guys around, and the people that run the tournaments, they don't want to have to, mow the golf course, another time. There's also many expenses that are going to be eliminated, and I think it's going to be a better product. And the players made the mistake themselves, and yes, they're too slow. There's no doubt about it. Ask Lanny Watkins, ask Lee Trevino. These guys. Nicholas was, in his first tournament as a professional, was got fined, got penalized. So it's far overdue. I think this is going to streamline the watching of golf on television. It's going to help the television people. So it's all for the good.
Charlie, you're a big baseball fan. We've seen the MLB have a lot of success with the shot clock, get the pitchers and their windups a little faster. Could you keep the integrity of golf and put a and put a shot clock on these players? Would that be possible?
Wouldn't you shouldn't have to. You should not
Okay.
have to. I mean, come on, guys, let's go. Put the fast ones on the front line and see how you know how many holes behind the slow players are. No, just
Yeah.
let's get with it. The AJGA, the junior golf professionals that are helping grow the game, we're doing a great job getting our players around the golf course and stop messing around.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You take a look at some of these changes the PGA Tour is going to make, and you can't help but to look at a story. 2 weeks ago, like 36-year-old Rafael Campos, he won his second PGA Tour event a couple weeks ago in Bermuda, and you look at where he's finished on the Corn Ferry Tour the last 2 years to get his PGA Tour card, and he's finished near that. He was among the last of the 30 Corn Ferry Tour members who earned their PGA Tour card in 2022 and 2023, and he struggled for most of his time on the PGA Tour these last 2 years. But if the Corn Ferry Tour was only giving out 20 cards, guys like Rafael Campos, Camilo Villegas, who came back and got a PGA Tour win last year, and who's also on the board. He voted for a lot of these changes, but those journeyman stories. The Corey Connors of Monday queuing into San Antonio and winning that and earning his PGA Tour card. It seems like the PGA Tour is heading a little bit more towards a closed shop rather than a lot of open regular season events.
Well, they're going for quality, not quantity, and the PGA Tour sponsors that run the tour, they want to see more results. They want to see their stars out there, and you can the people that own the golf courses, so on and so forth, can get them around quicker. It's going to make a whole big difference. We don't have to have 150 guys playing, 120, 118.
Yeah.
Augusta, they have 72 players. Nobody complains about that. You just got to play good to get in the lineup.
Well said. Well said. Charlie, do you have any issue with this number right here? This is going around the communication wires quite a bit this morning. Commissioner Jay Monahan's salary came out this morning, $23 million he made this year, while the PGA Tour's revenue was $1.8 billion. You look at some of the other commissioners, Charlie, some of the media talking heads are looking at what the other commissioners are making. You look at Rob Manfred of the MLB. MLB's revenue is about $12 billion. Manfred's salary is $17.5 million. Adam Silver with the NBA, his salary is $10 million, while the NBA revenue is $13 billion. You look at Roger Goodell with the NFL. NFL generates $20 billion a year. His salary is $64 million. So, there's a lot of people, Charlie, that are pointing out PGA Tour revenues a little low for how much Commissioner Monahan makes. Any truth in that?
Well, that's all got to come to a halt, and they're going to analyze it, and they're going to have a new commissioner, and he'll be paid accordingly. And it's hard to compare one sport with another, what the television revenues are, so on and so forth, and how many games you're responsible for. So that has to work itself out. The year they played the tournament of champions here at Champions, and Jackie Burke said that commissioner, finished fifth in the overall scheme of things. He made $5 million and he never hit a shot. So who's right, who's wrong? talking the business side of it is not what we're about. We're about promoting the game of golf, and we want amateurs to get out there and play golf at their clubs and have fun and TV golf. You'll fall asleep in front of a TV golf tournament.
Well, I think there's also a lot the average fan can learn from watching the professional game. They can learn a lot more from watching PGA Tour and DP World Tour golf rather than some of these YouTube influencers or or however else you want to digest the game. But I think you're exactly right. The PGA of America is doing a wonderful job in all their sections promoting the game, giving people a way to learn golf. And I still think the PGA Tour product on a week to week basis is very strong. I'm still learning a lot from golf on a week to week basis. And you look at the next generation of the game is already here. You look at the RSM Classic. You had an amateur, and the RSM Classic was the eighth and final fall series event of fall of 2024. You had two young stallions and Michael Thorbjornsen and Luke Clanton at the top of the leaderboard trying to get a win. They didn't come away with it, but you are seeing a lot of younger talent in the mix in professional golf on a week to week basis. You look at the Australian PGA last week. This was a great story, Charlie. 22-year-old Elvis Smiley won the Australian PGA, and he is a product of the Cam Smith scholarship. I talked to 2 weeks ago. I talked to Matt Ballard, who is the head of Australian Golf Performance, and I said, Matt, who is doing the most amount of work for the next level of golf superstars in Australia? I said, is it Greg Norman? Is it Jason Day? Is it Adam Scott? He said, Will, it's Cam Smith by a mile. What Cam Smith does with his scholarship is he not only pays for the start of their pro career or their college journey, but he also invites them out to a couple tournaments every year and lets them lets the junior golfers shadow Cam inside the ropes. And obviously Elvis Smiley gained a ton from that. Ended up getting his first pro win last week at the Aussie PGA. Now has full status on the DP World Tour. So, a lot of goodness around the world of golf. We got to take a quick break. On the other side, we will get your questions in for Charlie. Break down the Aussie Open leaderboard on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity HR that makes a difference. Back after this.
The Charlie Epps Golf Hour, powered by Insperity, continues
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Will Doctor and Charlie Epps.
Nice to have you with us on a Saturday morning. Let's get to your questions as far as the world of golf is concerned. Charlie, this comes in from Rodrigo. He says, the greens at my home course have really firmed up over the last several weeks. How do you recommend I hit the ball a little higher for a better chance of holding the green with my approach shots, Charlie?
Well, there's a couple options. Playing downwind or into the wind, that's the big difference. But it's where you want the ball to bounce. You can have the ball hit before the green and run on, and keep it in play that way. I mean, getting spin on the ball it takes a lot of talent, and a lot of times you try that and you hit it thin and you're 40 yards over the green. So hit a bump and run, hit it, 3/4 knockdown shot, bounce the ball onto the green. There's no harm in doing that, and you'll see the good players. They do it at Augusta. They do it in Scotland. Hit the ball before the green and let it run on, and keep it on the ground that way. And I guarantee you'll make more good shots that way than trying to get the ball too high in the air. You can always go with a lot of loft and hit it harder, but that shot's mighty dangerous.
Yeah, Charlie, they do the same thing in the Australian sandbelt there in Melbourne as well, don't they? It's pretty firm. You got to run the ball up a little bit. Is that how it works?
Oh, sure, exactly right. You hit an 8-9 iron, and a wedge is it's a dangerous shot when you're going to hit that shot like the pros do. Learn how to hit a knockdown.
Yeah. A lot of the players have been surprised this week at the Australian Open. Melbourne's gotten a ton of rain over the last several weeks, and there's a lot of players who are surprised by how soft it is. They say it's playing a little bit more like an American course this week. Have you been to that neck of the woods, Charlie? Played any golf?
Unfortunately, I've never made it down to Australia to play golf. I've always wanted to, but man, that's a long ways to go to make a three putt. But it's
well. You went to Malaysia with Angel, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, in that area. We weren't too far, but no, I've never been down there. I'd love to go. It's great golf, and growing up in Argentina on that side of the world, similar summers that they have in Australia, they have in Argentina, and the golf courses there get hard and fast. So I've had experience down there.
Now, as far as what they're experiencing, this week, and as far as what's going on with the Australian Open, Charlie, some of the Australia media members were infuriated with Jason Day this week. He skipped the Australian Open, but he's playing in Tiger Woods' tournament next week, the Hero World Challenge, the 20-man field there in the Bahamas, and they're a lot of what they're saying, Charlie, they're falling back to what the late great Peter Thompson said. He said you need to win 20 if you want to be a great all-time Australian champion. You need 20 wins around the world. You need a major championship, and you need to win the Australian Open. Jason Day has not done that yet. Cam Smith has not done that yet, but he is playing this week.
Jason Day has
time.
Go ahead.
Now, this is a big-time tournament in the eyes of the Australians, practically a major. They're very heated that Jason Day is not there, Charlie.
Well, they'll get over it. I mean, Jason Day is a free man. He can do what he wants. He's got a beautiful family up here in the United States, living in Ohio, to move his family down there. The logistics and all that sometimes just don't work out. And they're an independent contractor, and they can play in any tournament they want. So I'm not going to let the news or the writers criticize Jason Day at all. He's a great champion, and he's done very well for himself, and he's a good friend with Tiger Woods, and so he's going to go play with his friend Tiger.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's going to be a great tournament next week there at Albany Golf Club. But Charlie, it is amazing. This when you look back at the Australian Open over the years, you know, Gary Player always came and played this tournament, won it 7 times. Jack Nicklaus would go to the Australian Open, and he won it 6 times. But with the way the golf ecosystem has changed, it seems like this is really a month and a time of the year where the stars have to take their little break.
Yeah, Nicholas went down there all the time because he liked to fish, and he played golf on the side. But Australia, New Zealand, it's great golf, and it's unfortunately it's 20, what is it? I don't know, 20,000 miles there.
All day flight, all day and night. You're flying to get
And then
over
you
there.
get turned. You go by the date line.
Yeah.
I don't know, but if he doesn't want to play, that so be it.
Yeah, no, that's his prerogative. Adam Scott, another great all-time Aussie Masters champion. He just took the entire Kiwi and Aussie swing off. Said he needed some rest after getting to the FedEx Cup playoffs 2 years in a row. But really a great leaderboard at the Australian Open right now. You'll be able to watch that coverage on Golf Channel tonight. Lucas Herbert, not the most exciting player. He's tied for the lead with 24-year-old American Riggs Johnston, a great player out of Arizona State. I'm fired up to watch Joaquin Niemann and Ding Wei Charlie Ding Wei he's a guy from China who won the Asian Pacific Amateur. Gonna play in the Masters this year. He's like 6'9" or 6'10".
Yes.
Really stands tall off the ground. Great player. Your Australian PGA champion, 22-year-old Elvis Smiley. We saw him win last week in a close battle over Cam Smith. He's back in the mix. He's in a tie for third at 12 under. So great leaderboard there at the Australian Open.
Do you see Bobby Gates' name in there?
Well, I don't see. He's not on the leaderboard, Charlie.
Okay.
He's not on the leaderboard. A couple other Curtis Luck, Charlie. He won the U.S. Amateur. I think back in the mid 2010s. He's in a tie for eighth at 11 under. Harry Higgs, a Texan actually from California, but went to SMU. Harry Higgs, American player, he's tied for 15th at 8 under. So a great leaderboard there. They're in Melbourne at Kingston Heath and the Victoria Club. So I think it should be a good finish. And once again, we're in a little bit of a slower time of the year as far as the golf schedule is concerned, but some excellent golf being played on their down under. Charlie, what all as far as the question that we started off this segment with, as far as managing your ball flights, the temperatures in Houston are dropping just a little bit. What are some of your recommendations for players as far as the temperature is concerned?
Well, the temperature is has a lot to do with growing the grass, and going into the winter months this year. The last 2 years, the Bermuda is strong, and there's going to be a lot of Bermuda, a lot of dormant Bermuda. So depending on how the superintendents choose to cut that grass will determine a lot of your chipping and pitching, and then also the greens. They're going to have a lot of grass on them, and I don't know if they've overseeded your golf course or not. That's going to dictate a lot of the way you putt. So the golf pros, you go to your golf pro and ask him, because the best player at the course is usually the PGA golf professional, or if not, he's the most knowledgeable, and they can give you good turf conditions, and once again they should bring the tees up, make it a little easier because it's going to be winter golf. Play lift, clean, in place. A lot of things that you can do to have fun in January and February.
Charlie, let me give you a scenario here. You've got a low of 40 degrees today. Well, I'm up north in Flower Mound. I'm near Dallas right now. The temperature, you got a low of 35, high of 61.
Yep.
Once again, that's a low of 35, high of 61. How are the distances going to change out there for a player today?
Well, once it gets below 60, then the golf ball becomes a little harder, and then it gets into the 50s. You got at least one club difference that you got to your 7 iron is going to go as far as your 8 iron, and so you've got to make adjust the flight of the ball and bounce the ball in. If the greens are hard, like this one gentleman saying, hit it in front of the green and roll it on. That's the best way to circumvent that the turf conditions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great stuff there, Charlie. Great work. One more to go as far as the world of golf is concerned on a Saturday morning. This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour by Insperity. Back after this.
This is the Charlie Epps Golf Hour on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Powered by Insperity.
Now from the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Will Doctor and the golf doctor himself, Charlie Epps.
Unbelievable day as far as the world of sports is concerned. Really, especially on the college football front. Charlie, your Michigan Wolverines face off against number 2 Ohio State at 11 a.m. You have Auburn at Alabama at 2:30 there on ABC, and then at 6:30, once again staying on ABC, is University of Texas back in College Station, facing Texas A&M. Texas is a 4.5-point favorite, so
Well,
going to be a great.
it's so good to get that game back together. We've been 10 years without it, and one of the great rivalries of sport, A&M and Longhorns, and that you grew up in Texas.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It's a rivalry that we needed back. these are two teams right now that I think when you look into the crystal ball over the next 10 years, Texas and A&M should be, competitive. Texas is 10-1, A&M's 8-3. Today, I would err on Texas at 4.5 point favorites. I mean, I think Quinn Ewers and that front led by Coach Stark. I think they're gonna take it to Texas A&M and Kyle Field today. Charlie, we got a couple more updates as far as the world of golf concerned. As far as a couple of minor headlines, Live Golf is expected to hire former NBA and NHL executive Scott O'Neill. That's all we know on this matter as of right now. We don't know what Greg Dorman's role is going to be moving forward. We just know that Liv is very close to finalizing a deal with O'Neill, and he is a former executive for the Philadelphia 76ers and a former executive for the New Jersey Devils, which is an NHL franchise.
I wish him luck. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
bringing in a person that's not a golfer and doesn't understand that culture, but maybe it does. Maybe he'll stay in the office and get the office in good shape and let the golf tournaments run themselves and the tournament directors and the staff that they have for professional golf. It's going to be a big change, but I think it's all for the best.
Yeah.
I think once the water settles, it's going to move down the stream just nice, and everybody's going to get rich except me and you.
Yeah, no, I really can't. I'm really looking forward to that. I really think the golf fans, are sick and tired of every week hearing an update about how close, all three parties, the PGA Tour, DP World Tour, and the PIF. I think everyone's sick of hearing about that. O'Neill doesn't have, experience in the golf world. His most recent job was the CEO of Merlin Entertainments, one of the world's largest operations of amusement parks. So I think there is some real connection. This guy knows how to manage a circus and knows how to manage clowns, and he's got experience.
You said it, I didn't.
We're going to get Scott O'Neill on here in the next 3 weeks. I've already reached out to Live Golf, and we're very good. We have a very good relationship with Live Golf. We were out there at Live Dallas and Live Houston this year. It's just not finalized yet, Charlie. So we can't bring him on the show yet.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Another little bit of pro golf, and Charlie, I think we've talked about this quite a bit and where we stand on this. I think the Ryder Cup is an event that goes way beyond players getting paid, but reports as of yesterday do suggest that the PGA of America is going to pay each member of Team USA $400,000 for competing in the Ryder Cup. What's your take there?
Well, they've already been paying him 200, so they just got a raise. And all of that money, usually the player distributes to his charities and so on and so forth. So it's still one of the great events in golf, and it gets worldwide attention, and the players should be compensated because it does generate money, and they share, move it around and share it and help charities and do good with it. So once again, golf is all about charity, and especially the Ryder Cup.
Yeah. They're going to have to equal it. So I guess the RNA, does the RNA manage Team Europe for the Ryder Cup?
Well, no, the RNA manages golf worldwide. The European Tour is in partnership with the PGA Tour that runs the Ryder Cup for the Europeans.
Got it. Yeah, we'll see. They're gonna need to make sure it's not just Team USA who's getting the 400K. It's gonna need to make sure that goes around to.
Well,
Team
no,
Europe
the
as
Europeans they have to handle that with their money. They share in the revenue. The European Tour, they get when it's over there. So they got to divide it up with their players.
Yeah. Charlie, many years ago we used to see the Thanksgiving Skins game every year, and greats like Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player and Byron Nelson facing off against each other. They ended it, they're in the mid 2010s. I think Phil did it a couple times, and it just didn't really maybe resonate. Plus, you have a mass amount of NFL on Thanksgiving Day, but those are. I was watching some replays on Thanksgiving. Those were some special matches there. It's a good get together for the world of golf.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They
Yeah,
were fun back then, and that it served its purpose. And now they've kind of gone by the wayside. In the NFL, they've got such a great marketing program that
yeah.
they monopolize football season as they should.
Yeah, and you have the PNC Championship, here in less than a month, and that gives. I know it's a different format, but it lets the golf fans see the players in a little bit of a different light, alongside their with their son or daughter,
Yeah,
or in David Duval's case, his stepson. They do a nice job, kind of allowing some some different. It's not just a father son shootout anymore. You've got Annika Sorenstam and her son Will competing. So that's always a nice tournament to watch. They have other kind of more laid back tournaments, I think, in its place.
yeah.
You've got the
How about the $4 million check they wrote to that nice girl that won that big prize on the LPGA? How about
oh
that?
yeah, no, it's great. The CME Tour Championship. That 4 million was awarded to Nelly Korda after her 7-win season. Charlie, I mean, she had a almost an equally as dominant year as Scotty Scheffler. We got to see that firsthand when she won the Chevron Championship there at Carlton Woods and in the Woodlands. It's she did a great job. Did a great job, Charlie.
Well, you're doing
And
a great job. What do you got going for the rest of the year?
yeah, one last thing on that. You're actually able to see Nelly Korda play alongside Tony Finau at the Grant Thornton Shootout
Okay.
in Naples, Florida at Tiburon. So the PNC Championship and the Grant Thornton Shootout, good two laid back tournaments as far as the world of golf is concerned over the Christmas holidays. And to answer your question, Charlie, I'm really thrilled this weekend on a personal level to watch the Australian Open, and let me tell you why. Uh, the player who won the Spirit International individual men's leaderboard, Josiah Gilbert at the Spirit. He plays at Auburn. He's Australian. Right after the Spirit, he earned a sponsor's exemption into the Australian Open, so he flew home, and he's 1 under going to the final round. He made the cut. It was his first professional start. Um, so I'm really fired up and thrilled with his efforts and progress, and it's very cool to see him play at a amateur tournament a couple weeks ago in the Spirit, and then turn around and get a sponsors exemption. And then as far as what's going on in the caddy world of the Australian Open, I actually met the guy who's caddying for Elvis Smiley this week. His name's Matt Ballard, and he's the captain for Team Australia, and he's on Elvis's bag this week. So a couple personal aspects as far as the Australian Open. I had an A+ week here in Flower Mound, celebrating Thanksgiving with some family, and obviously, what we do between now and January 1st is a lot of review as far as the Spirit. We'll still be with you every Saturday until the golf season starts back up in January at the Century. And Charlie, I'm looking forward to a great 2025 season alongside yourself and another good year of radio.
You got it. We're going to spread the word. We're going to get people out there playing golf. But my suggestion for people that have loved ones who play golf and they're serious, whether it's a man or a woman, buy them a series of 6 lessons or 12 lessons from their local teaching pro, and I guarantee you that's a present that will endure. Those golf lessons, get them out there, and their personalities will really improve if they go from 10 to 6. Don't you think they're
Charlie, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I think everyone that's starting golf absolutely needs to go get a lesson. I think it's imperative. And Charlie, you've done a great job with your juniors and amateur players and seniors. getting them, making sure they improve on a lesson-to-lesson basis. And Charlie, you've got a grandson in Charlie Wiley, who's, living proof of this. Just absolutely doing a great job there at TCU on the golf team as a freshman.
Yeah, he's really had a good first couple months. Listened to a couple of his stories over Thanksgiving, and he's really matured. They've worked out. He's building his muscles. Golf is such a great sport for collegiates, and I recommend everybody go out for the golf team once they go to college.
Yeah, yeah. This year on the PGA Tour in 2025, you're going to see some young players, much younger than normal, due to the fact that the PGA Tour University point system allows players to now go directly from college to the PGA Tour. Carl Phillips is a young stallion who just graduated Stanford. He graduated 5 months ago, played 5 months on the Korn Ferry Tour, won 2 tournaments, and he's already accumulated enough points to go to the PGA Tour in just his 7th month out of college. That's unheard of, when you look at the kind of the world of golf 10 years ago. And next season, you're going to have more coming as far as Luke Clanton, who's the #1 amateur in the world out of Florida State. So the game's in great shape. The next generation's in great shape, large part due to PGA pros like yourself, Charlie, and what you're able to do as far as teaching. So great work today. Thank you, AJ, behind the ones and twos. John Belmer, I see you back there. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week here on the Charlie Epps Golf Hour, presented by Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Bye-bye, everybody.